Welcome to Part 3. Children, Trafficking and Missing Persons. This is a warning for people. It is dark. In official records, the numbers never agree. Different agencies publish different totals. Some count runaways. Some exclude undocumented children. Some quietly close cases when a file goes cold long enough. The discrepancies are explained away as bureaucracy, jurisdictional confusion, or human error. But in the margins between spreadsheets and press releases, entire populations seem to vanish. Children disappear without spectacle. No alarms sound. No borders are closed. Their absence is absorbed into noise. Foster systems overwhelmed. Border facilities mismanaged. Inner cities neglected. Rural towns ignored. Each case is small enough to be dismissed. Together, they form a pattern no one wants to trace. The invisible supply chain. Trafficking in this world does not look like chains and cages. It looks like paperwork, transfers, temporary housing, transport errors, and sealed court records. It moves through systems designed to protect adoption pipelines, shelters, detention centers, private care facilities where oversight thins and accountability dissolves. The machinery is quiet, procedural, and deniable. Children are reassigned. Files are misplaced. Oversight committees are underfunded. Investigators rotate out. Whistleblowers are warned about career consequences. Media inquiries stall due to ongoing investigations. By the time questions surfaced, the trail has already cooled. Nothing illegal appears to have happened on paper. Power without faces. The most unsettling aspect is not the criminals at the bottom, but the absence of visible architects. There are no mustache-twirling villains, no single mastermind. Instead, there are donors, board members, contractors, and intermediaries, each insulated by layers of plausible ignorance. Influential names surface briefly, then disappear behind settlements, sealed testimonies, or jurisdictional dead ends. Scandals erupt, but they stop short of the highest floors. Prosecutions target facilitators, never beneficiaries. Patterns repeat, but responsibility never accumulates. In this world, guilt is diffuse, blame evaporates, missing, but not counted. Some children are never officially reported missing at all. They belong to families without documentation, without legal standing, without the means to push back. Others come from fractured homes where absence is expected. Some are wards of the state, technically belonging to everyone, therefore to no one. When they vanish, there is no press conference, no Amber Alert, no follow-up. Their disappearance is statistically invisible. The system mourns loudly when a single case captures public attention, but remains silent for the thousands who do not photograph well, whose stories lack a hook. Investigations that go nowhere. Detectives speak in careful language. They describe anomalies, irregularities, insufficient evidence. Files are reopened and quietly closed again. Leads point upward, and then stop. Requests for expanded authority are denied. Funding dries up. Some investigators quit. Some recant. Some stop talking entirely. In darker rumors, those who dig too deeply find their lives unraveling, careers stalled, reputations questioned, personal histories scrutinized. Nothing overt, nothing provable, just enough pressure to make continuing unbearable. The cultural shield. Public discomfort acts as a defense mechanism. The subject is too disturbing to dwell on. People prefer to believe trafficking is rare, foreign, or exaggerated, something that happens elsewhere, to someone else. When confronted with scale, many retreat into denial or accuse the messenger of hysteria. This reluctance becomes a shield for those operating in the shadows. Silence protects the system better than secrecy ever could. Why it endures, the horror persists, not because everyone is evil, but because accountability is fragmented. Victims lack power. Institutions protect themselves. First exposure threatens to many careers. The truth is too destabilizing to confront. The greatest cruelty is not the act itself, but how easily the world learns to look away. Now we are going on to finance, banks and money systems, manufactured consent through debt, scarcity, and normalization. Most people believe money is neutral. They are taught it is a tool imperfect, but necessary, created to facilitate exchange, reward effort, and organize society. What they are not taught is that money is also a language of permission, and that fluency is controlled. The system does not need chains when it can use numbers. The illusion of choice: citizens are told they are free because they can choose where to work, what to buy, how to live. What is rarely examined is how narrow those choices become when survival itself is conditional. Food, shelter, medicine, education all sit behind paywalls that rise faster than wages. Debt is offered as assistance, then normalized as a lifelong companion. Entire generations are introduced to adulthood, already owing more than they can realistically repay. This is framed not as coercion, but responsibility. Those who struggled are told they failed to budget correctly. Those who prosper are praised as disciplined. Regardless of inherited advantage, the system remains blameless. The individual absorbs the guilt. Banks, as invisible sovereigns, banks are never elected, yet their decisions shape nations. Interest rates rise and fall, quietly determining who can buy homes, who can start businesses, who will default, who will collapse. A single adjustment expressed in fractions of a % can trigger layoffs, evictions, and unrest across entire regions. When banks fail, they are rescued in the name of stability. When people fail, they are corrected in the name of morality. This asymmetry is presented as pragmatism, money created from absence. Most currency is not earned into existence, is issued, loaned, and owed back with interest that does not exist yet. This creates a permanent shortage by design. There is never enough to go around, because repayment always exceeds creation. Competition is not a flaw of the system, it is the engine. Scarcity keeps labor cheap, decent, risky, and compliance rational. People fight each other for wages while the rules of the game remain untouched. Manufactured consent through normalcy. The system does not require people to love it only, to accept it as inevitable. Media coverage frames crashes as unfortunate cycles. Bailouts are too complex to explain. Austerity becomes necessary. Medicine. Alternatives are dismissed as stupid, dangerous, or radical. Economic language is deliberately opaque. Those who question it are told they simply don't understand. Those who do understand are rarely given a platform. Over time, outrage is replaced with resignation. People stop asking why and start asking how to survive within it. The moral inversion. Debt is treated as a personal failing, even when it is structurally unavoidable. A person crushed by medical bills is irresponsible. A nation crushed by predatory loans is undisciplined. Meanwhile, institutions that extract value without producing anything tangible are described as essential. Profit becomes proof of virtue. If the system rewards someone, they must deserve it. If it punishes someone, it must be just. This belief is crucial. Without it, the entire structure risks scrutiny. The threat of alternatives, any attempt to imagine money differently, is treated as an existential danger. Barter systems, debt forgiveness, decentralized currencies, resource-based economies, each is portrayed as unstable, criminal, or a threat to order. Regulation arrives swiftly when alternatives gain traction. Narratives shift. Fear, ease, seethe. Freedom is allowed only insofar as it does not challenge the monopoly on issuance and control. The system tolerates criticism, but not replacement. Why? It endures. The most effective control systems do not announce themselves as tyrannies. They present themselves as rational, apolitical, too complex, to question, already broken, but impossible to fix. People comply not because they are forced, but because resistance risks homelessness, hunger, exclusion, and social death. And so the world continues, not because it is just, but because it is familiar. And this is another we have to stop. The elites above don't care about you or us or anyone. It plays perfectly to how it's been planned. I believe everyone should be equal. Don't you find the ones with nothing give the most? Carefully have a think about that. Check out part 4. Shit gets even more crazy.